everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be starting yet another reading vlog for you guys, and I am very excited about this one because I have a fantasy heavy TBR. I have three rather chunky fantasy books that I'm going to be reading this weekend, and I don't think I'm going to finish them all. Like, I'm not insane. I'm really just aiming to finish one of them specifically, and then hopefully two's the goal. I think 2 is the goal. So yes, let's quickly talk about my TBR because I'm so excited about all of these. First of all, I am rereading Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. Me and Cass chose this as our Weapons and Words book club pick for April. Since Shadow and Bone came out last month, we were both kind of thinking about wanting to reread Six of Crows, and we were like, what if we had everybody reread Six of Crows? Why not choose it as the book club pick? So I'm very excited about this. I also annotated this the first time that I read it, and they're like baby annotations because I just wrote in pencil. Back then I didn't want to make my annotations too permanent, but it would be such a pain in the ass to go back through and erase all of the words that I wrote in pencil. So I don't really think I thought that one out, but I think it's funny. I also love rereading books that I've annotated, so I'm very excited to read some more of this. I started this a little bit yesterday and I made it up to page 37, so as you can see, we're really making progress now, but finally got past the juiced chapter. I hate the juiced chapter. But anyway, this is the one book that I would really like to finish because our live show for this is next Saturday, I think, so this is a goal. And then this is kind of a last minute addition to the TBR, and that is The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. I read The Well of Ascension last weekend. It was so good, and I've been so excited about continuing this, but I wasn't sure if I was gonna continue it directly after or not. But me and Cass were FaceTiming last night, and she was reading the ending of this book. And it was infuriating. Because every 5 seconds she would just be gasping or oh my god, and it was maddening because I just wanted to know what was happening so badly, and especially because I just finished The Well of Ascension, so I had this book on my mind. Seeing all her reactions, it has motivated me to start The Well of Ascension. This is a long book though, this is 750 pages, so I don't think I'm gonna finish this weekend, but I really want to start it because I'm so excited to see how Mistborn ends. I've heard nothing but good things about the ending of Mistborn, so hopefully I will figure out what the ending is soon, you know? So there's this one, and then I have another book which I'm super excited about. I'm just super excited about all the books on my TBR for this weekend, so I think this is gonna be really fun. And that is The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. Need I say more? I feel like I've seen this everywhere, but it's a vampire fantasy romance with a tournament aspect to it. And that's all I needed to know. That's all you need to know. That's all we need to know. You know what I'm saying? I'm also buddy reading this book with my friend Elaine, which I'm so excited about because she's the friend who I always watch The Vampire Diaries with, so obviously we're both vampire girlies. I can't wait to jump into this book, so hopefully I can make some progress in this. Again, I don't think I'm gonna finish this one. If I'm really vibing with it, then it probably won't take me any time at all to read, but it is 500 pages. Actually, that's not as long as I thought it was gonna be. This is just a really big paperback. So when I first opened it, I was like, that's a big book. But I think it's just it's a big paperback. But I really like the construction of this book. It's nice, it's floppy, I'm a fan, and I just think the reading experience is gonna be nice. But aside from these, I do have a manga series that I'm currently in the middle of, and that is Yona of the Dawn, which I am so obsessed with. I finally have read more volumes of it because I read the first volume. Couldn't find the second volume, so I decided to just watch the first and only season of the anime, and I am so obsessed, so I decided to just pick up where the anime left off in the manga. It's a historical fantasy action adventure situation with a romance subplot, which is really slow burn and just so good. So I'm up to volume 14. I think I've decided that I do want to collect some of the volumes of manga, which I normally don't have the urge to do that, but with this series I'm I kind of want physical copies. Let me show you the 2 that I have because I just want to talk about it. So I bought volumes 20 and 24, and I just love the covers of these so much, so I've kind of decided that while I can't collect every volume because there's 38 volumes, and spatially, morally, and financially I cannot do that, but I do want to kind of collect my favorite covers of the series, so that's what I'm doing. I have these two. I bought two off of Amazon that are coming today, which I'm also really excited about. But I will definitely be reading some volumes this weekend. I will show you the 2 volumes I get later today because they're coming today. Anyway, I think that's everything that's on the TBR. This weekend is gonna be pretty chill. I don't have any like assignments due next week, so I'm not gonna do anything this weekend, which is nice. I'm just gonna spend a bunch of time reading. It's gonna be so lovely. I think I'm gonna go back to the library because I went to like this reading room that they had last weekend and it was so delightful, honestly. So I think I might go Saturday morning to the library. I don't know if I said this, but it's Thursday. Normally don't start vlogs on Thursdays, but here we are. I'm just rambling at this point. I'm rambling. So I'm going to go. What are my plans for today, actually? Actually, today I do have some like work that I need to do. I need to finish editing my vlog that I'm posting on Monday, and I have some homework that I kind of want to start. It's not due for a few weeks, but I like need to get a jump on it. So not like too many reading plans today, but when I find some time, I'm gonna pick up Six of Crows. So yes, I think that's everything I needed to tell you. So let's get into it. Everybody, it is Friday afternoon. Well, actually it's more like Friday evening. It's like 5 now, but I had a pretty busy day today. I had class and then I had a meeting that I had to go to, but now I'm back in my apartment ready to spend the weekend reading, which I'm so excited about. So I do have some reading updates for you. First of all, I read volumes 14 and 15 of Yona of the Dawn last night. Honestly, like, stunning. Still obsessed, like we already know. It's great. I feel like at this point, I don't have anything else to say about it other than I love it. But I also have made some progress in Six of Crows, which I'm excited about. So I made it up to part 2, which is Servant and Lover, and I'm on page 103. I really like that this book has like a lot of parts in it. I think there's like 6 parts, maybe? Yes, 6 parts. And I just really like it when books have like a lot of parts in it because it makes me feel like I'm accomplishing something, you know, along the way. But obviously I'm really enjoying my reread. I think it's gonna be a lot more fun this time around because the first time I read this book, I hadn't watched Shadow and Bone yet, but now that I've watched Shadow and Bone, I'm kind of just like, you know, obviously picturing the actors like as these characters, and it's just like so much more fun that way. So I'm really enjoying it. The first 100 pages that I've read has really just been setup for the book, which I feel like is a really long time to do like setup. Like I don't mind it because I already know I love this book, but reflecting on it, I'm like, wow, that's a lot of pages. But I do feel like it kind of flies by because you're just kind of thrown into things as well, and it's really fun that way. But something I wanted to bring up is I'm listening to the audiobook for Six of Crows because I had an Audible credit left. And I was like, I kind of just want to, you know, throw on the audiobook whenever and listen to it that way. But this book has a full cast, which is great. I do love that. So like each of the 6 crows has their own narrator. But the narrator that does Nina's parts in this book is also the same narrator that does, I think, the entirety of the Throne of Glass series and Crescent City. So when Nina's chapter started, I was like, I know this voice. Why do I know this voice? And like automatically Selena popped into my head. And I was like, what are you doing here? At first I had the realization of like, oh, this is the Throne of Glass narrator because I decently enjoy the way that she narrates books. I wasn't mad about that. But like further into her chapter, I realized it was the Crescent City narrator as well. And I started thinking about that damn book again. So now all I can think about is like Bryce and Hunt. Like every time Cass speaks, I'm like, it's literally Hunt. And like this, it's not the book's fault, it's not the narrator's fault, it's my fault. But I had like a visceral reaction when I first like realized that, because this book and Crescent City, like just very different concepts, you know, very different levels of how much I enjoy them. So it's just like, I didn't want to think about Bryce and Hunt while I'm trying to read Six of Crows, but here we are. But I thought it was kind of funny, so I wanted to share that with you guys. But aside from that, it's fantastic. I really like I'm doing my reread. I'm interested to see if I'm going to change my rating at all, because the first time I read this, I gave it a 4 stars. I'm wondering, like, maybe I'll give it a 5 star, like, on the reread, because I know the character's a bit better and I probably will have a greater appreciation for them. But also, I'm not really feeling like it's gonna be a 5 star. Like, it still feels like a 4 star. And I don't know why. But anyway, those are my current thoughts on Six of Crows. I definitely plan to make like a ton of progress in this book tonight. It's only 5, so you know. The night is indeed still young. I kind of want to make it up to like the halfway point in this book. I feel like that could be good, which would be like part 4, which is on page 255. So I feel like I can do that. That's only like 150 pages, so yeah, that's the goal for tonight, and then maybe I can like finish it up tomorrow and start one of my other books. So yes, this is like my only reading plan for tonight. I'm very excited to read some more of it. I don't have any plans for tonight. Who's shocked? Nobody's shocked. So I think what I'm gonna do is spend some time reorganizing my little bookshelf that I have right here, just because I love reorganizing my bookshelf like every other week. So I'm gonna do that. I'm also gonna pack up some books because I do move out in like 3 weeks, and I don't like need all of my books out and about, so I'm gonna put some in a box, and just so they're ready to go when I move out. I also might do some, I was like, you can't see what I'm tapping on. I also might do some desk reorganization. I'm not exactly sure. Basically, I just want to organize things because it sounds nice. So that's kind of the plan. Gonna listen to my audiobook for Six of Crows while I do that, and then I'll probably just like read some more physically later as well. So those are my plans for tonight. Pretty chill, very excited, so let's get into it. Good morning, everybody. It is Saturday morning and I have decided to go to the library again to sit in that little reading room that I was telling you guys about in my last vlog. Honestly, I'm so excited about it. But I also have an update on Six of Crows. I've made so much progress in this and I'm very excited about that. I made it up to page 294 last night. So further than I was hoping. I'm almost on part 5, I think. What's part 5 called? The Ice Does Not Forgive. It's so dramatic. But I'm still enjoying my reread. We're finally up to like the heist part of this book, which is always exciting. However, we're about to get to this one scene that I absolutely hate reading. And not because it's bad, like it's a really well written scene, but it gives me so much anxiety, and reading about it makes me want to just like curl up in a little ball, but I just don't really enjoy reading it. There's also a scene like that in Crooked Kingdom that I don't enjoy. Just playing on some deep-seated fears, I suppose. But the other thing that I want to mention is that I honestly forgot just like how insane everybody is in this book. Primarily Kaz, but everybody's like a little bit insane. I feel like in this show they don't really quite portray him as like off his rocker as book Kaz is. But there's this one scene that I forgot that happened, and I know when I read it the first time I was like, and reading it this time I was like, because it's just a lot. Like, it's a lot. It's also disgusting. I feel like I don't really have any other notes on it, aside from the fact, actually I do have one more note. Why does Wylan not get any POVs in this first book? Like, I was looking through the chapters and I was like, is there really not one from Wylan's perspective in the first book? I know a lot of his backstory is explored in Crooked Kingdom, but like, why does he not get a single chapter to himself? You know what I'm saying? Like, Wylan's my favorite crow, so to not see him get the page time that he deserves, disgusting. But aside from that, I'm enjoying my reread. I still don't think I'm gonna give it a 5-star on the reread. I just feel like Six of Crows is a 4-star book for me. And I still don't know why. Like, I don't think I could pinpoint it the first time either, because I was like, oh, you know, like, it was really good. There are a lot of aspects to this that I really enjoy, but it's just not a 5-star. I think if I were to reread Crooked Kingdom, like, that one would definitely be a 5-star, just because I like more things that happen in that book, even though I feel like people like Six of Crows more than Crooked Kingdom. I don't even know if I'm gonna reread Crooked Kingdom, to be honest. I just have so many other books that I would, you know, like, rather be reading right now than like a reread, but I'm still enjoying rereading Six of Crows. So yes, goal today is to finish this up. I only have like, I don't even know how long this book is. Oh, it's only 462 pages? Okay, so I only have like 170 pages left. So definitely think I'm gonna be finishing this up today, and then I can start one of my other reads, which I'm very excited about both of those. But for now, I'm gonna go into the library and hopefully do some reading. I do have a Hold to pick up, which I'm very excited about because it's a graphic novel that I've been wanting to read for a long time, and I think they like just got a copy in at this library. So I'm excited to see what that's about. So let's go do some reading. Okay, so I just got back from the library and I thought I could give you guys a quick library haul. One of these books is Six of Crows, so don't mind that. I'll give you an update on this in a second, but the first one I picked up is actually a book that I've borrowed from the library before with full intentions of reading it, and then I did not. Shocking, but that is Have a Soul by Olivia Atwater. This is like a Regency romance, but there's fae in it, and that concept right there sounds like something that I would absolutely adore. So I don't know why I haven't picked this up yet, but I do really want to read this, and I'm hoping I can read it soon. The next book I picked up is Every Heart a Doorway by Shauna McGuire. This is the first book in like it's like a series of novellas essentially, because they're all like super short, I think. But I know this deals with like children from fairy tales, I think, who get taken out of their own worlds and thrust into either the human world or just like a different fairy tale world. And I've been wanting to pick this series up for a while. I've heard so many people talk about it and really enjoy it. And then I also picked up Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. I've been meaning to read this book for like forever. And I just haven't. I've had my eye on like the UK paperback of it for a while. I just haven't gotten around to buying it. So I figured maybe I could like read a bit of this. And then if I'm like really into it, I will pick up the paperback. But I know you're following, I think one of the, I don't know if you're like fully following them, but there's a character in Heartstopper who's in this book, I believe, and they start a podcast, I think. Is it a podcast? Maybe they have a radio show. Oh, it is a podcast. I don't know. I have no idea, but I just need to read like one of Alice Oseman's like full-length novels, because I've read, you know, Heartstopper. I've read her 2 novellas that feature Nick and Charlie, but I've never read a full-length novel, which seems like a crime. So I'm really hoping to fix that this year and read at least one of them. So maybe it'll be this one. And then the graphic novel that I was talking about is this one. It's very large. Like, this is such a big book. Like, look at this in comparison in my head. But this is Beautiful Darkness. I talked about this in my like manga / graphic novels Rex / TBR video. That's such a long title, but I've been wanting to read this for a while because I just randomly saw it on Amazon one day. Like, it got suggested to me and I was like, I really like the cover of that. I want to know what it's about. And then I looked into it and I was like, oh, okay. It's described as an unsettling and gorgeous anti-fairy tale, which I think sounds like something I would really like. I think you're following like tiny people who maybe they're living inside a human corpse, which sounds like describing it, I'm like, oh, okay. But I think the dichotomy between that concept and like the stunning artwork throughout it, I mean, like, look, it's so, like, the artwork is so lovely, but I don't think the story quite matches the tone of the style here, and I am just very intrigued to see what this is like. So hopefully I will be picking this up soon as well. Actually, I kind of have to because I move out in like 3 weeks and I'm gonna have to return these before I move out. So there's my mini library haul. Just picked up 4 books. And the last thing I have to talk about is my update for Six of Crows. So I've made it up to part 6, Proper Thieves. I love the names of the parts in this book, but I'm up to page 404, so I only have like 50 pages left. So I will just be quickly finishing this up this afternoon. Again, I don't really have anything else to say about it. It's really hard to like give updates for books that I've already read and I've already talked about on my channel, because I literally have a whole reading vlog where I just read Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. It's a little rough. It's like one of my earlier videos, but it is there, and I did talk about it in length, like with spoilers. So I've talked about this book on my channel a lot before, so I'm like, what else do I say? Aside from the fact that I'm enjoying it, and it's not like one of my top favorite books, but you know, I'm reading it, I'm enjoying it. I am remembering why I love this cast of characters so much, like full 5 out of 5 stars for the Six Crows. Love them, maybe aside from Matthias, but sorry to all my Matthias fans out there, but I don't like him. Like, I'm sorry. I really like Matthias in the show, but book Matthias, I can't really get into it. But even though I don't like him, I do think he has a very interesting and complex backstory, which I do appreciate. Everybody, I feel like at some point in the series does get their time to shine and kind of see where they got to where they are now and why they are the way they are. I feel like this book mainly focuses on Kaz's backstory, which is a harrowing experience to just like read about. So it's really good. It's really sad. But the amount of character work that those complex backstories allow Leigh Bardugo to do with the characters, like just within this series, is fantastic. Like, cannot complain. I love them so much. So yes, I'm still enjoying this. I'm really excited to talk to everybody on the live show about it next weekend. And yeah, I'm going to go finish this up. And then I think after that, I'm gonna start The Serpent and the Wings of Night. I don't think I'm quite feeling Mistborn right now. Also, I forgot to talk about it earlier, but I did rearrange my bookshelf. I'm a fan. Even though I'm only gonna have this for 3 weeks, I'm a fan. I have like a little white shelf. We have like library books, YA, and the Infernal Devices right there. Just stay where it's supposed to be because that's what it deserves. So I think that's everything I need to tell you. I'm gonna go finish up Six of Crows, maybe start Serpent and the Wings of Night, and just chill for the whole day because I don't have any plans. So lots of reading should theoretically happen. So let's get into it. Okay, so I just finished my reread of Six of Crows. I kind of forgot what happened at the ending of this book, but I really liked the ending of this book. Like, mainly like the last kind of scene that we're getting, because like throughout the course of this book, obviously Kaz is like pulling things over on a bunch of people, but he's also pulling things over on me, because there's so many schemes that he has set in motion that like even you as a reader don't know about. So it's like, it's always a really fun reveal, because you're like, oh, no way. And even though I've read this book before, I forgot what happened. So I was like, oh wow, cool. Like I remembered it as I read it, but like coming up to it, I was like, wait, what just happened? So that was fun. But aside from that, 4 stars on the reread. I really enjoyed it. I also really loved the audiobook. Aside from the fact that it made me think about Crescent City, the narrators that they have for Jesper and Matthias, their voices are so nice. Like they're so like deep and rich. And every time I came to their chapters, I was just like so excited to hear more of the narration, because oh, they had really hot voices. Like I cannot lie. The audiobook was just like nice to listen to as well. I don't think I listened to it the first time I read this book, so I liked it. Probably would recommend. I don't really know if I have much else to say about Six of Crows. I don't really think I need to say more about Six of Crows though, because it's probably, if not the most popular like young adult fantasy series currently out. I wonder if that's a true statement. Like I feel like, especially with the popularity of the show, I feel like Six of Crows is probably like the most popular YA fantasy series. I'd love to know what you guys think the most popular one is, but I feel like Six of Crows probably gets the most recognition. I don't know. I wonder how many reads it has on Goodreads. Love to know. What? Do you ever just like forget what... Do you ever just like forget what you're doing? Because I went to Goodreads and I started searching Goodreads in the Goodreads search. Anyway, we're just gonna casually ignore that happened. But it looks like Six of Crows has 797,000 ratings, which is crazy. Like, I know for the general populace, like it's probably not that popular, but I feel like on like BookTube and BookTok and like online book spaces, I feel like it might be the most popular YA series. Speaking of Goodreads, because we were there, I have exciting news, because I did, why am I still holding this? I don't know. I did reach my Goodreads goal for the year like yesterday, I think, and I forgot to tell you guys, but I set it at 50 books and I've read 50 books and it's only April, which is very exciting. I think I reached my Goodreads goal in June of last year, but reaching it early, and I'm sure it has nothing to do with like the 10 volumes of Yona of the Dawn that I've read this month, but I'm excited nonetheless. I always set my Goodreads goal like a lot lower than what I actually expect to read in a year, because I don't really care about meeting it that much, but it is kind of nice to like have a baseline to work with. But I did want to let you guys know that I did reach my Goodreads goal. I hope you guys are also killing it with your Goodreads goal. And if you are not, it's totally okay. Literally does not matter how many books you read in a month or a year or whatever span of time, as long as you're reading books that you enjoy. That's all that matters. Also, in the time since I last talked to you, I did read volume, what is it? 16, I think, of Yona of the Dawn. It was so good. I feel like I'm gonna say the same thing about every single volume, and that's that it was stunning. Like I'm so obsessed with this series. I think it's like I think it has to be my new favorite manga series. Like I cannot stop myself from reading it. It is so freaking good. I love all the characters so much. The setting is, oh, it's so, everything about it is amazing. So I'm so glad that I just like randomly decided to start reading Yona of the Dawn one night. Literally last week. It hasn't even been that long since I read the first volume, but I'm like, it has a chokehold on me that it has not released yet. I also bought another like volume of it in the last time since I talked to you, because I was ordering something on Amazon and I was like, what if I just like added another one in there? So I did, and I'm so excited about them because I think it has like my favorite cover out of all of them. So you'll see that at like some point in time, I'll assume, but I could spend so much time talking about Yona of the Dawn. It's just my current like obsession and I can't stop. Tangent aside, it is currently 2:30. I don't really have any plans for the rest of the night aside from starting Serpent in the Wings of Night. I don't know if I'm gonna make much progress because right now I don't really feel like reading. So I'm probably just gonna go watch some BookTube and probably edit this vlog so I can like be on top of things, you know. So that's the tentative plans for today, but I do want to start another book. So we'll see if that happens. If it does, I will absolutely let you know. So now I think that's everything I needed to tell you. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'll talk to you in a bit. Okay, so it is currently Sunday afternoon. I did go for a little walk earlier today. My original intention was to like go sit and read, but I read like 20 pages and I was like, I don't want to read right now. But I did have like a really good time just like exploring, walking around in some grass. I felt like I was in a Ghibli movie. It was lovely, honestly. And my goal for today was to just get out of the house because yesterday I left my house like in the morning, but then I got back at like noon, and just for the rest of the day I was in my room doing nothing. And I hate that. Like, that's just awful. So I made it my goal to like go out and do something today, and I did, and it was really nice. So that's what I did this morning. I do indeed have a reading update because, as you will have seen, I did not start, well actually, okay, I did start The Serpent and the Wings of Night. I made it to page 24, and I'm not in the mood to read fantasy romance right now. Like, it's not bad, but it doesn't immediately like grab my attention. So it's not exactly what I'm looking for at this point in time. Like, I do need to read this soon because it is a buddy read, but I don't think it's gonna happen in this vlog because I've decided that I want to focus on reading The Hero of Ages. So this is kind of my goal now, to finish this book in this vlog, just because I'm super excited to see what's gonna happen at the end of this book, and it'll mean I've completed another series. Like, I know there are like novellas and there's a Mistborn era 2 or whatever, but I'm considering me reading the first 3, completing the series. So that'll be nice. So I did read a bit of this last night, and as I said, a bit of it while I was out and about. And I made it up to part 2, which is Cloth and Glass. I'm on page 120 something, 25. There we go. This is a long book. It's like 750 pages. So I don't know if like realistically I'll be able to finish it in this vlog. We'll just see, because I don't really have an end date for this vlog, so maybe it'll just go until I finish Mistborn. Who knows? At any rate, I have been really enjoying the first part of this book. You really just like, it starts off with a bang, let me tell you, because you're kind of thrown into it and you're kind of following this person and you're like, who are you? But then things start to happen, you're like, okay, I see like why this was important, and just like a battle happens and it's really cool. I love the way that Brandon Sanderson writes action scenes, and I feel like that's really important, to be able to write like good and descriptive battle scenes, especially when you have something like Mistborn, because the magic system is a little bit confusing at first, and trying to figure out like what the characters are doing and how and why they're doing it, it's a little bit confusing. But I feel like the way he writes it just makes it make sense, and it's just a very immersive experience. But aside from that, I feel like I can't really tell you much without it sounding just like incredibly vague. So it's good. I'm enjoying it. Really hoping it's gonna be a 5-star. I gave the Well of Ascension 4 stars just because it dragged in the middle. So I'm really hoping this doesn't do that, but I feel like that's just how second books are in series sometimes. So I have complete faith that I will want to give this book 5 stars. So yeah, that's my update on Mistborn. I don't even know where that was going. So that is my update on Mistborn. My goal for this for today is to make it up to the halfway point. It's like 4 p.m. so I don't know if I'll be able to do that, because the halfway point is on page 362. That's like 250 pages away from, no, how many? How does math work? 225. Okay, it's not that far away. I feel like I could do that. Like, that's primarily my goal, and then I can finish it up like tomorrow, perhaps. I'm not sure. That's kind of my tentative goal. If I don't hit it, it won't be that big of a deal, but I would like to hit it. That's kind of everything that I had to tell you. No, actually, I wanted to show you this because I did a little bit of journaling this morning. I didn't film it just because I didn't want to, but I thought I could at least show you guys what I did. but I have to grab it first. So where is it? Here we go. I made this spread. We have my April annex because I ran out of room in my normal like April spread. Where'd it go? To write books. Like I've just read too many volumes of manga, so it's taking up a lot of space. So I had to make a little extra spread for it just because I like writing down the books and it's fun. And then I also dedicated the other half of this spread to meeting my Goodreads goal just because I wanted to write about it and I thought it would be fun. And I'm gonna like print the little like Goodreads goal logo thing, if you know what I'm talking about. It looks like this and I'm gonna put it there, but I don't have a printer right now, so we have a stand-in picture for now. But I just really like the way that this turned out, and I had a really like chill time doing this morning, and I wanted to show you what I'd done because I really like it. So yeah, I'm gonna get into reading some more of the Hero of Ages, so let's do it. It is currently Tuesday morning. It's like 10 o'clock. I didn't end up vlogging anything yesterday just because I had class until like 2, and then when I got back I picked up the Hero of Ages and I was kind of just in the zone, and then it got dark. And I don't love filming updates when it's dark because my camera is like, it could be better, like the quality could be better. Although coincidentally I am getting a new camera today, which like theoretically should help with that. We'll see. At any rate, I will show you that because I am so freaking excited about it. I decided that as an early graduation present to myself, I would finally buy a new vlogging camera because the vlogging camera I have is a Canon G7X. I do love it, like it's great. But when I bought it, it was used and it's getting a little old. It doesn't shoot in 4K. And, like the sound is like okay, but I decided to upgrade and buy a mirrorless camera so I can like change the lenses and everything, and I'm so excited. Also, Yona of the Dawn Volume 19 is coming in that order because I was buying the camera and I was like, what's $10 more? Like, let's just add it in there. So I'm also hopefully gonna be reading that in this vlog just because I need to read some more of Yona of the Dawn. You know what I'm saying? I think I read 2 volumes since the last time I talked to you as well. What volumes were they though? 14, 15, 19. I read 17 and 18. I think honestly they're all just blurring together at this point because I just keep reading them like back to back, but they were great. I really liked volumes 17 and 18. They provided a lot of a backstory for some characters, which sounds incredibly vague, but yeah. Anyway, I'm mainly here because I have an update on Mistborn. Now please don't yell at me, I'm so sorry. But I'm on page 667. So it's been like 600 pages, probably more than 600 pages since I like last updated you on this. But the thing is, because this is the 3rd book in a series, it is just incredibly hard to really like discuss what's happening because it's the 3rd book in a series, and like Mistborn is such a popular series and I don't want to risk like spoiling anything for anybody. So when I thought about filming an update, I was like, what am I gonna say? You know, like what could I possibly say that I haven't said already when I was vaguely talking about the Well of Ascension? So it was like this whole like inner debate that I was having yesterday. And I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna like give a little update right before the end and then when it actually ends, and like that should be fine. So that tangent aside, I am very close to finishing the Hero of Ages, to finishing Mistborn Era 1. I don't know what to do with myself. The only thing is though, I'm still not liking it as much as I liked the Final Empire. Like there was just something about the first book that was, oh my god, I loved the first book so much. And like the Well of Ascension and the Hero of Ages like have been great. I really liked these, but I just haven't loved them in the same way that I loved the Final Empire. And I don't really know exactly why that is. Maybe with the Final Empire, everything was like really new and fun. We were getting introduced to all these characters. But now that we're at the end of like a pretty chunky fantasy series, all the important stuff has to happen. And it's so good, but it's not as fun. But I'm still really enjoying this. It's either gonna be a 4 or 4.5. Like, I don't want this to sound like I'm not enjoying Mistborn, but like, I loved The Final Empire. I just really, really like the other 2 books in the series. But as for what's been going on, so many things obviously have been going on in this last 600 pages. So many characters are stepping into new roles. So much information has been dropped in the last 600 pages. And I feel like there's just like new bombs being dropped like every 100 pages. I feel like Brandon Sanderson does not give you unnecessary details. Like, so many things that he has mentioned like so briefly in the beginning of the series are coming back in this book, and you're like, what? I didn't even think twice about that. And the fact that it has like this large role is just insane, and seeing all of these things come together is so fascinating. I'm loving it so much. I think that's everything that I have to tell you about the Hero of Ages. Again, like, everything I could possibly say that isn't spoilery would be super vague. So I'm just gonna like, just know that I'm liking it. It's a good time. Obviously you need to read Mistborn. So like I said, it's 10 o'clock on Tuesday morning. I do not have class today. Well, okay, I do have class today, but I'm not going to it. Don't tell anybody. I have 60 pages, I think, left of the Hero of Ages. So I'm going to read these 60 pages, update my reading journal, and hopefully get my camera and read volume 19 of Yona of the Dawn. So that's kind of the plan for today. I'm gonna end the vlog today, so like this will be it. I'm really loving how this vlog is turning out, so I really hope you guys are enjoying it too. And yes, let's go finish Mistborn. But like, I know it's not the end. Okay, I just keep rambling. I need to stop rambling. I'm gonna go read it. Okay, so I'm here to end the vlog and talk about all of the things that have happened since I last talked to you, because quite a few things have happened. First of all, I got my camera and I'm so excited to start using it. I ended up getting the Sony, what is it, ZVE-10. I already went ahead and like put some stickers on it just because I think it's fun. I have some on my camera that I'm using right now and I felt like they would look even cuter against the white. So I decided to go ahead and do that, but I've never had a Sony camera before. Right now I'm using a Canon, and I've used like my mom's cameras up until like this point, which are also all Canons. So I've already taken some test shots and they are so crisp because the current camera I'm using, it only shoots in like 1080, yeah. And this shoots in 4K, so I'm so excited to hopefully make my vlogs look a bit nicer. So yeah, I will stop boring you with the camera talk though. I'm just super excited about it. But I do have some reading updates because I've actually finished 2 books since the last time I talked to you. So first of all, and I feel like probably most importantly, I finished The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson, and I did not like the ending to this book. Like, it was good, it was really good, don't get me wrong, like it's a good ending, but I did not like the way that it ended. But like, that's just me, like that's a me problem, because I do, like, it's definitely, like, this is a really good ending to a series. I really liked it, but I just don't know why I didn't absolutely love it. But it was still really good. I'll probably give it like a 4 or a 4.5. The Final Empire remains my fave. I would love to know your opinion on Mistborn if you've read all 3 books. Like, what's your favorite? What did you think of the end of the series? Let's have a little chat about it, because I feel like so many people love the ending to this series, and while I didn't hate it, I liked it. I just don't know. I don't know. I will talk about it more in my wrap up when I've like collected my thoughts a bit better. But the ending of this book, I like turned to the last page and I was like, really? Not in a bad way. I was just like, oh. It hurt. It definitely hurt. And then I also read volume 19 of Yona of the Dawn. This is the one that I just got. It's got my favorite character on the cover and it was so good. I loved it. There was like a whole 3-chapter arc featuring him. He's my absolute favorite and I adored it. So volume 19 was great. Loved it. And yeah, I think those are the things I needed to tell you. So oh, no, there was one more thing. There's actually like a really big thing that happened in the time since I last talked to you, which is more of like a personal thing, but I wanted to share it because I got accepted to the grad school that I was hoping to go to, which is very exciting. I've been like super stressed recently because I'm in my last year of my undergrad degree and I was like, oh shoot, I gotta like figure out what to do next year because it was either go join the real world and get a job or go back to school. And I was like, I think I'm gonna go back to school. So I applied for a graduate program a few weeks ago and I've been really stressed because it's like kind of late in the game. I think I decided like a bit later than I probably should have, like, to go to grad school. So I was like, this is a lot. Literally don't know where I'm gonna be living in the next 4 months. Do I need to find an apartment? Do I need to like move somewhere? I don't know. It was a whole thing. But I got the email that I got accepted and I'm so excited. So I'm gonna be getting my Master's of Science in Mechanical Engineering. So please pray for me. Like, it's gonna be a challenge. I fully acknowledge that. Yeah, maybe this will come back to bite me in the ass, but I'm really excited about it. So yes, going to grad school. Never thought I'd say that. Like, never in a million years did I ever think I wanted to go to grad school. But then I was like, you know what? I could do 2 more years. Like, I could work with this. So that's like the big thing that happened in my life. Like, forget the camera, forget the reading updates. I'm going to grad school. Anyway, I am also going to be ending this vlog and giving you kind of a final update on what I read. I think I read in total 8 books, technically, in the span of this vlog, but 6 of them were volumes of manga. So like, semantics really. But I finished, you know, like 2 books, 6 volumes of Yona of the Dawn because I cannot be stopped. And it was great. Just a quick wrap up. I don't need to give you a wrap up on this actually because I just talked about it. But I also finished 6 of Crows this weekend and it was a really fun time rereading it. It's just so nice sometimes to jump into a book, hang out with some characters that I absolutely love, and it was really fun. Still only a 4-star, but it was really fun and I'm definitely considering rereading Crooked Kingdom. I'm just not sure. But I'll figure that out at some other point in time. And then, like I said, I read 6 volumes of Yon of the Dawn. I read volumes 14 through 19. And I think I'm gonna go read volume 20 after I finish this vlog, just because I'm so excited that I have physical copies of them, because it's so much more fun than reading them on my iPad. So yeah, good stuff, good reading. I really hope you guys enjoy the vlog. I'm really liking how it's turning out so far. I feel like I got some different b-roll from what I usually do in my vlogs, and keeping it fresh always makes it more fun. So I hope you guys also enjoyed it. If you did, please do let me know down below. Have you read any of the books that I read this weekend? Mainly, have you read Yon of the Dawn? Because I still just want to talk about it, and I like obsessed. But we could talk about these two, I guess. But I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I will see you guys in my next video.